Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's a podcaster who thought we had something special this season. Rob Cesternino, hello everybody, and welcome to our live coverage of Big Brother Canada 3. And this is, I think, the most important Big Brother recap that we've done to this point this season, and maybe for the entire season, because we have breaking news, we have an ongoing situation happening in the Big Brother house, and we have a fantastic guest. Here she is with us, the Neha of Big Brother Season 2, Big Brother Canada Season 2. Here she is. It's Neda Kalantar.
Okay, Rob, calm down.
Yes. Oh, my God. Neda, we have so much to talk about.
Let's start.
How are you? How are you doing first?
I'm decent. Just played with my cat, fed her, so life is exciting.
Good. Neda, I told you before we started, I thought you look stunning tonight. If anybody's listening to the audio version of this podcast, turn it off immediately, because you're not going to want to see. You're not going to want to miss how great Neda looks on the camera. And I'm going to say this while John is in the shower, so he doesn't come out and yell at me.
Yeah, it's okay. He already got mad at you earlier, so.
For what? What did I do?
What? Nothing.
Okay. All right, good. All right. And then here with us to talk about the ongoing drama on the live feeds in a bit, here is Shannon Bauer. Shannon, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and I just had to ask Shannon to move her rabbit to the other room. It was making too much noise.
Shannon killed her rabbit.
I didn't kill him. My boyfriend will kill me. It's our rabbit.
Okay, don't kill him, please. No bunny killing in this podcast on any account.
See the size of him. He can be without water for a little bit. It's okay.
Okay, good. All right, so. We're here live. We are going to have a lot of questions here tonight, and there's so much going on in the Big Brother house where I feel like Big Brother Canada 3 was a little, I don't want to say it was boring, but it wasn't the most exciting Big Brother or Big Brother Canada that we've seen. But now it's like all hell has broken loose at this point, and unfortunately, this could mean trouble for friend of the podcast, Jordan, this week, where we'll talk about the good and the bad, and it's mostly been bad over this last couple days for Jordan. All right, let's just set this all up. We're here live on robhasawebsite.com. We've got the chat room open on robhasawebsite.com. We're going to take your tweets, hashtag RJP, and then also on our YouTube channel, you can send us your questions at robhasawebsite.com/YouTube. All right, Neda, where do we start with all this?
Who decides to go up on the block? Who is like, okay, it's important to put myself up on the block where people can vote to evict me?
Neda.
You're in zero situation where that is okay. I don't care if you're friends with the entire house. I don't care if your mom is the only person left in that house. Do not volunteer to go up on the block. Ever.
Yeah, that was really bad.
Really?
And Neda, this is very hard for me because Jordan has been a longtime listener to the podcast. That he's talking about things that I've said on the live feeds, and Neda, I've never said that to volunteer to go on the block. I never said that.
I know. You know what? Actually, it's all your fault. We can just blame Rob for it. You also said something in a past podcast.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I think Jordan's going to be on this podcast in a couple days at this rate.
I kind of hope he is, because as a super fan, you should know never to volunteer yourself to go up on the block. I love Jordan. Jordan was one of my preseason picks. I still want him to, if he stays, do well and potentially win this game, but just I can't wrap my head around that mistake. Also, how cool is Godfrey now all of a sudden?
I know, Godfrey is a badass now. He's a badass Godfrey. Oh my God! All right, let's just take everything piece by piece because there's a couple of major interesting points about this, and let's just take it chronologically. Let's start with Jordan and Zach and this idea. One, why was this the week, Neda, for Zach to say, all right, well, we've been laying low, now we need to be HOH. What was the point of this week? This whole cockamamie plan?
I don't know. I don't understand. Okay, well, I guess they were like laying low enough in the beginning. Now they're like, okay, let's whatever. It's halfway through the game. Like that's typically when people do it. But it's like you make a plan like that and you stick to it. You know, you can't take into consideration, especially in a season like this where there's so many twists, you can't take into consideration the twists anymore because it is always going to screw up your game. But it's like now it's like every week there's a new twist. So you make a plan and you stick to it, and I think that's where they really went wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Neda, you were such a great representation of, I would say, the Rob Cesternino Big Brother doctrine, which is.
Rob, you know I got that from you, right?
No, you look that you just have you didn't take anything away from what I was saying, but you did it perfectly. Go into the house, lay low for the first month. Then when, then after there's like a big swing, be part of that. And then, now, when it gets down to crunch time, start winning the competitions and really, coming together. I mean, I didn't invent this. Dan Giesling plays the game this way. A lot of the great players play the game this way. So, but this is, I think, the right idea in the Big Brother house. And I do feel like, while I think that in some ways, I think that Jordan knew what to do. I feel like that they really sort of played the game very aggressively for the first 30 days. I don't think they did a great job of laying low in that first month of the house.
And here's the thing too, they keep saying that they are whatever laying low, they're hiding their alliance. They go into the pantry together every 2 seconds, just those two, and they talk for like 30 minutes while the whole house knows they're in there. Anytime a major thing happens, those two run to the pantry together. You guys are not laying low, okay? Like you're not doing anything right now. Like you need to, if you really want to hide that alliance, hide it, or I don't know.
Yes.
Newport.
It really did feel like this to me, this was Peter and Alec much more than some of these other pairs where it's turned out better. And it really, I mean, Peter and Alec at least went 2 months in the house. This is 1 month and this is falling apart.
Well, you know what? Just watch. JP's gonna stay, and him and Zach are gonna be final too.
Okay, well that would be exciting. That would be very exciting.
I actually really started off liking Newport. I was rooting for them just like anybody else. But then they had that one scene in the diary room where, they were sitting together, they were acting all cocky and confident. And that's the scene where you're like, okay, everything is going to go downhill from now on. That's like that one scene everyone has right before their downfall.
Yeah, that was their Arlie moment.
Yeah, that was their Arlie in the pantry. Who's gonna stop me now?
And Arlie, at least it was like 2 weeks before he got voted out. I mean, these guys, that was like Sunday that they were in the. It was very. I think it might have been it was like less than 10 days ago that happened.
So I think the blame really falls on Zach, though, to be honest.
Yes, let's talk about Zach. Okay, so they come up with this plan. Okay, so Jordan had the bad idea to let's go on the block, and then he felt bad, I think, that he blew the competition, and then he ran up and hugged Zach. So he was trying to overcorrect, and he said, okay, well, let me make this up to us because you won HOH. I want to carry my weight. Put me up on the block. So then he ends up throwing the challenge, and really, I think that this is really going to bug him if he gets voted. No pun intended, because it was an ant challenge. But the fact that he was laying down and not even playing for the veto because he felt like he was safe, and not to say that Zach was playing him at the time to trick him into not playing for the veto, but the fact, I think that's going to annoy him, right, Neda? That's gonna eat at him.
You know what? Poor Jordan. He's gonna go home, and if he does get voted out this week, this is gonna haunt his dreams or nightmares or whatever for years. Like he's not gonna be able to get over that because he had the chance to save himself and he didn't take it. Yeah, but okay. What I don't understand is you want either you or Zach or whatever to win that veto so you guys can backdoor whatever, right? Whoever they were planning on, their plan was to backdoor Bobby or Bruno. Jordan, why don't you just win the veto? Just take yourself off and make sure that the plan actually follows through. If I had a plan like that, I wouldn't rely on somebody else to go and do it for me. I'd be like, yes, I want to win this veto. Then we can actually put up Bobby and Bruno and actually vote them out.
Well, see, I think both guys were a little bit I don't know if selfish is the right word, but I feel like both of them felt like, okay, well, I don't want to get blood on my hands. So, Jordan was fine to say, okay, well, I'll throw this so Zach can use the veto, and he looks like the bad guy to everybody. And then, then when push came to shove, Zach was like, well, I don't want to get the blood on my hands. I think Jordan will be okay if I don't do that.
How would Jordan look like the bad guy if he takes himself off the block?
Because, well, he doesn't want to get the blood on his hands, and then also he would also look like more of a physical threat, and he would be more of a target. So I think he feels like.
A question: do you think Jordan, if he had really tried in this competition, could have won anyway?
No, I don't think so either. Probably not. I mean, I think that Zach had a big advantage of being so tall, being able to.
Honestly, we were watching it with John. I'm like, the one bad thing he would have is he's a big guy, whatever. It's hard to maneuver, but his arms, all he needs to do is sit in the middle of that puzzle and just put his arms on. He can reach every corner of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now for Zach, how bad is this? I mean, what is he thinking to not take Jordan off the block?
He's thinking that he can keep on riding the middle for a bit longer because that's what he wants to do. He thinks that this way, again, no blood on his hands, Godfrey leaves, Jordan will still stay loyal to him, but pretty much he's blown up his whole game. His number one isn't his number one anymore. Jordan sold him out to Kevin. Bruno and Bobby don't trust him because, why would he put up Godfrey? Why would he put up Jordan? And everyone just knows that he's a threat now because he won HOH and veto. So in 1 week, he really screwed up his game.
So why did he win HOH then?
Because I guess he wanted to make sure that this plan actually happened, that they got out a big threat, and then he chickened out.
Yeah.
A lot of people do that. A lot of people happen early on in the game to win that HOH and win that veto, and then they don't do anything with it, and then we see often that they leave within the next week or two. Like Aika Nara, she won HOH and veto on her weekend and left the next week because she didn't make a big move. You can't be in there thinking that it's too early. Too early, maybe week 1, and then game on.
Yeah, Neda, so much has been made of being a super fan on Big Brother this season and on Survivor this season. We had between Max and Shireen talking about it so much of what it means to be a super fan. And it's funny that both shows had casts that had a lot of people where they people were big super fans, and it was sort of like they wore it on their sleeves. And in both shows, we've seen that sort of come back to bite people in the butt. And you were somebody who was a big Brother super fan going into the house, but it worked for you. What was the difference between what you did and what some of these people on Big Brother and Survivor had happened to them this past couple of months?
Well, one, I'm not Ronnie.
Well, Rodney is not a super fan. He's a super fan of some things, but not Survivor.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think being a super fan gives you that edge as you know better, you know more about the game. You can anticipate things that are coming up in the game. You can avoid making the same mistakes. But that's an advantage to us maybe until halfway through the game. And then like you saw John, somebody can pick it up really quickly, not be a super fan, and still just have a better grasp of it. It really comes down to who you are as a person. You have to have a really well-rounded personality, I find. So just being a super fan doesn't help you. It gives you the knowledge, but then you need to also have that you need to be able to read people really well. You need to have the strategy as well, and being a super fan doesn't give you all that.
Yeah. Should a Big Brother super fan there's going to be somebody on Big Brother 17. Maybe they're watching this. Hopefully they are. That goes into the house. That's a big, major fan. Should they keep that under their hat more than we've seen? No?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yes.
I don't understand why they're in the house right now talking about all these past house guests and every season that they watched and every single detail of Big Brother and proving to everyone how big of a fan they are. My whole thing was I hid that I was a super fan. I would be in there listening to Sabrina saying that Dr. Will was an All-Stars, and I would have to zip my mouth and not say anything because anything can make you a threat in that house. So I think they're in there. They're one board. It's just something easy to talk about. And two, it's almost a bragging thing, maybe. I feel like a lot of people go into this show and say that they are super fans because that they've seen that past house guests who were super fans, they got more support from the live feeders and stuff because people are like, oh my god, this is a super fan. They've watched this for so many years. What a great story. So a lot of these people, that are going into the house may not even be real super fans. They're fans.
Posers.
Fans. But But yeah, anyways, they definitely should hide. Anything that's going to make you a threat in the house, hide it. Why not?
I mean, and do you feel like it is an advantage to go into the house and know that much about the show? I mean, how many episodes of Big Brother did John watch before he went in the house?
Probably like 5.
I don't know if it helps you that much.
Honestly, it screwed me over in the end because I was expecting, as a super fan, the final 3 competition to go as it normally does, where the last set of questions is just complete luck. It's you, whatever, you kind of house guess, whatever. It's just luck. So once we got down to final 3, I stopped. Like once I beat Sabrina in the board thing, I stopped studying because I'm like, I don't really need to know this stuff anymore. And I've got the worst memory ever. So if I stop studying, it screws me over. So being a super fan got me far in the game, but it didn't help me win.
Yeah. It helps. It helps to know a little, at least. But to know so much, I wonder if it's a curse more than a blessing.
I feel like, here's the thing though, like somebody like I don't know who left early this season, I can't remember, but like a Nick from my season, or like an Andrew Gordon, those people, if they had watched Big Brother like really well before, they would know to not come in the house and be the most talkative, loud person in there. Lay low, you know to not make those mistakes that other people have made. Well, I guess Jordan didn't, so.
How dare you, Neda? I think you want to know a little bit. I think you could probably watch a season. If you watch one season before you go play, I think you'll be fine. But I think like rewatching seasons, I don't know if that might be too much.
No, I don't know. Me and my sister, before I went in the house, we rewatched every single season. We literally sat there with this huge notebook, taking notes on what everyone did wrong, what everyone did right, what the votes were, how everything was playing out.
Yeah, but you were able to filter it, so that was good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't think it helps you win the game, but it does help for sure.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about Godfrey and this speech, because I was blown away. I really was. I think a lot of people were. And really, there was like this undercurrent in the house where Zach is the threat. People were talking about, everybody was sort of starting to figure it out that Zach was the threat and Jordan was really his buddy and he was the pawn that was up there on the block. We saw Bruno talking about last week. We got to watch out for Zach. He's the guy we can't trust. And then what the house guests didn't know was that Cindy was going to be with all of the first 5, not that first 5, Neda, the other the new first 5, and they were all going to be together, and everybody was going to know about the chop shop and how Zach was in it and how Zach was a threat. And so there was this whole undercurrent of anti-Zach sentiment that was brewing in the house, and Godfrey gets up there and says, why should you – you're right, Shannon?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Godfrey gets up there and says, you know what? You shouldn't use the power of veto on me because I'm coming to kick your ass. And your buddy up here, who's your tightest ally, who's your pawn, you should have never put him up here because I'm coming for you and I'm going to get him voted out. And, oh, my God, Neda. Stunned.
Speech.
Best, most compelling speech in the history of Big Brother for a veto ceremony?
Oh, wow. I don't know. That's a little too risky. Who else has been really good veto speeches? I would need to go, like, analyze this.
Well, I'll ask Jordan on Thursday.
Aww.
No. Boy, it's got to be up there because most people don't give a compelling reason at all.
Oh, no, I mean, most people stand up. I love everyone here. Please keep me. Please use the veto however helps your game. If you really think you're in trouble, you're going home, give a speech that's going to, like, move them, you know? Give a speech that, like he did it perfectly. He literally called out everything that everyone was really thinking anyways, laid it out for everyone to see. Zach and Jordan, they are really close. They're best friends. This was all a plan. Jordan is meant to be a pawn. I am coming after Zach. You guys don't want to go after Zach? I'll go after Zach. Me saying the speech right now, I'm making myself a target. Everyone will come after me if you keep me. Perfect. He covered so many bases.
Yeah, because we've heard the speech before of if you want to come after, I'm gonna come after this person. I mean, I feel like that this happened in Big Brother 16 at the height of different things that happened with the bomb squad of like coming after, like, I want to say either Pow Pow or Brittany or somebody like that said, hey, I'm gonna if you want to get this person out.
Both of them actually did, didn't they?
I think they might have, but the fact that it's set up this way where Zach has put one of his closest allies in the house up as the pawn, where it's not just, hey, keep me around, if I stay in the house, I'm going to come after Zach, but it will also hurt Zach if you keep me in the house because his tightest ally, here's the guy that you're threatened by, here's the guy you're scared of, by the way, his best friend is the pawn that's up next to me. So keep me in, I'll come after Zach, I'll be the target, and you'll send his closest ally in the house home. This plan was so terrible, Neda.
Oh my god, I know, and also, like, I feel bad for Jordan because Zach's just a dummy. Like, after Godfrey even gave the speech, Zach had this, like, weird smirk on his face, like he just thought this was all just, like, a big joke. I don't think he even really understood how bad this was for his game. And Jordan here is literally like, use the veto on me, man, and he still doesn't use it. Like, oh,
yeah. And so now this is gonna send Jordan off into scramble mode. And I really, my heart goes out to him because I really feel, I know how bad he wants to be in the house, and I really do hope he's able to change the tide and is able to stay in the house, because I really feel like, Neda, if he does stay in the house somehow, that I feel like you're going to see a different guy after this. I think you're going to...
Rob, what do you think he has to do to stay? Like,
well, that we're going to talk about with Shannon in a minute. We'll talk about what the latest is on the live feeds. But I feel like he'll be like a guy who had a near-death experience. Like, he'll be like a guy who was, like, down and now has a second life in this game and has a chance to really change the narrative of his game this season. I just don't know if he's going to get that chance, Neda.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I'm feeling like really bad for the guy.
Okay.
I don't want him to leave that bad.
Well, let's just talk about a couple other things, and then we'll get into questions, and we'll talk about the live feed stuff. So talk about the people that came back into the house. Here comes Cindy, who's back in the house. Now, if you were playing in this season, and somebody that you sent out of the house already came back, and you found out that they weren't even sequestered, that they were all just living together, basically trading all sorts of dirt back and forth, how mad would that make you?
Oh my god, I hate returning players. I hate it with like a passion. Like a lot. It makes me like really, really angry returning players. I'm sure if I was in their position and someone was like, Neda, you get a second chance, go back into the house or whatever, I'd be like, oh my god, this is the best twist ever. But as a fan and somebody who's played this game, I hate that. I don't think anyone should be given a chance to go back in. I think that if they are, they should not be in a house sequestered together. They should be separate in hotel rooms. But I am happy with the time that she came back into the house. Like, it's good that it's pre-jury. I don't believe in people coming in past jury either. But, man, like, this is a twist I don't like. I think Big Brother should be you get one life, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't have so much of a problem with them coming back. I just think that the fact that they all live together is kind of lousy.
But also, do you think that the one good thing they do get, because them coming back into the game is such a disadvantage because they are immediately a threat, that, this one advantage that they get is that one advantage. You know what I mean? Cindy did get the advantage of not being able to go up on the block this week. So but she had to earn that.
Yes, she had to earn that, but I feel like it was the kind of thing where it was a layup from Big Brother.
I did not know that. What was that word? Palindromic?
A palindrome, yeah.
Did they explain to her what that was?
I don't know.
No,
palindrome with a P.
Know what that word means. Do you guys know what that word means?
It means when a word that's the same forwards and backwards.
Okay, well, like, now I know, but
like race car.
Oh God, you guys, I'm not that smart. I was just like checking on Big Brother.
Yeah, well, luckily you didn't play in a season where you had to do any palindromes.
God, what the heck are palindromes? I feel like if I ever had went back on another season, I just need to analyze the dictionary.
Take the SATs before you go.
Oh my God, take some math classes.
Yeah. So you think it's an equalizer for Cindy that yes, so she's at such a disadvantage that she is somebody that people are going to say, hey, just vote her out because she already got kicked out. That it's okay that they all got the trade information.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, that's a great word to use, equalizer, because she gets a disadvantage. I know, like you said, she gets to be safe now or whatever, but she did kind of earn that. I just don't believe in people coming back, but them being together, maybe that does just like balance it out. That she does have that information now that she can use. But man, that's a lot of great information she has.
It's a lot of good information.
Like, come on.
Yes.
So
And
it's a great place in the house too.
Yeah. Neda, so who do you feel like, who is the Neda of this season? Was it Neha? Did the Ginger Ninja have it right?
I think Neha and I were compared because we're just like two strong girls in the competition, but I don't think that we have any other really similarities because she's like very lively, very like, you know what I mean? Went
Outspoken, yeah.
Blazing. Whereas like I went in, I was just like, people were like, who's Neda? Where is Neda? But like everyone knew who Neha is. And she seemed like a much more physical kind of girl, whereas like I'm literally like, I mean, come on, you're gonna break me in 2 seconds. So I feel like if Neha's name, she was telling me, she was considering saying that her last name was her real name before she went to the house because she was scared people were gonna actually make that comparison between Neda and Neha. So.
Oh.
I wonder if that really would have helped her because I think it might have. I think we have similar names. We're both like, I don't know, olive skin tone, and we have long hair, and we're strong girls. So It's like immediately it was something they could use against her.
But what she couldn't have prepared for is that Greg thought you were the winner of the season, so he felt like that you were gonna that she was gonna win too.
So entertaining. Like I know so many people hated him, but like where are you gonna find a character like Greg?
604, Propa.
Funny thing is, his like I can't say
that. What can't you say?
His area code's not even 604. Like his cell, whatever.
All right, so who is the Neda then? Who's playing a Neda-esque game? I know there will never be another Neda.
No, I'm trying to like think of somebody who's laid low the first few weeks and now is like, but like, honestly, maybe Godfrey.
Godfrey.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm really hoping that Sarah can pull out a win. She's the person I'm like really, really rooting to win this game. Pilar too, but just because she's my draft pick. But maybe Sarah can pull this out.
Yeah, you know, Willow was the person that I picked in the preseason because I felt like that she would do a good job laying low and being under the radar, which she has, except we've seen no semblance of a game happening or popping up at some point.
She's laid low on the episodes, but on the live feeds, this girl is not laying low with anything. Like, she is constantly talking. She is making herself a threat just by talking all the time.
Oh, no. Not good.
No.
Not good. All right, so let's go ahead. I want to open this up to questions from the people watching. We got so many people that want to hear from you. So I'm going to open this up, and then we'll get into talking about the live feeds and talking about what the latest is at this hour between.
That always scare me.
Okay, don't be scared of the questions. You faced much worse. Okay. All right. So. And of course, I can't get the questions to come up, so we might have to. Okay, here we go. All right, this is from John Clark, who wants to know, question for Neda, now that Cindy gets her second chance, that's a second with an S, to play, how far do you think she can go? Do you think that she can go past into the jury even?
100%, of course. I think.
Hundo.
No, not Hundo. 100%. I think she has a lot of potential. She's a really smart girl. She's a competition beast. She's come into the house at a time where there's unease around other people and the attention isn't on her. She just needs to make sure the attention doesn't come back onto her once whoever leaves this week leaves. Like, keep the drama happening somewhere else where you're not involved with it. So, and she seems like a really smart girl. I don't think she's really watched much of Big Brother either, but I think she just has that in her. She's like kind of like June, eh? Like, have a little, like, spiciness.
She's spicy. I think that, that might be a little bit of an insult to June because
Oh.
Cindy came in and really did not have a great start to this game. It looks like she got her
talking
feet
about, like,
under
the way
her.
they are and, like, their DRs. They're both, like, really funny, really, like, kind of snarky.
Yeah. What do you think of Cindy with this showmance with JP, Neda?
Literally, you guys, I can't watch live feeds when they're making out. Like, I used to watch, like, Emmett and Jill make out on live feeds. Like, I can't watch Jordan and Cindy do it.
Why not? Why not, Neda?
Because, like, I just feel really uncomfortable watching someone rub up on each other while they're having game talk. And, like, I really want to hear their game talk, but I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Also, because half the time when I'm watching that, I'm like, if I was doing that in the house, I know my mom would be watching. So then I get so uncomfortable thinking that their parents are probably watching this. So that's the part where I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. Like, I feel so uncomfortable.
Shannon, how do you feel about watching make out on the feed?
Shannon's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear game talk personally than watch them make out because, like Neda said, like if my parents were watching me make out with someone on TV, I'd be so uncomfortable with that. Like, no.
Now, Neda, is it only for Jordan and Cindy? What about like Kevin and Peely or Zach and Ashley? Or would that be different?
No, anyone who's like full on like making out or doing other things under the cover. I'm like, my mom would have blown me.
Now, I heard on Twitter that John said that's his favorite part of the live feeds. That's the only reason he watches live feeds.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it. He said it a year ago. He just said damn straight.
Yes, damn straight. All right, here's the question from Leighton Jansen. Rob, you seem to be unhappy with the amount of twists this season. Would you prefer a season like this with lots of twists or a season like BB16 where it was a predictable season or maybe somewhere in the middle? See, I was just talking about this on one of the other podcasts with Josh Wigler about how when you nail the cast, you don't need a lot of twists. And I feel like when you start getting into you have so many twists, I think it's because you're unhappy with the cast. What do you think of that, Neda?
No, I don't necessarily think that's true. I think it's just trying to be made as the most explosive season that it can possibly be. And there's John hopping in the shower.
Yes. I thought he was already in the shower.
Now I can't remember what I was saying. Twists.
Yeah, and I heard from Arlie that he never even takes a shower.
No, he doesn't. He just goes in there and like pretends or something. No, so these are idiots. But I'm like somebody who wants to go back to the basics of Big Brother. Like, let's go back to season 2. Let's not even have a veto. Let's have no twist. Let's have a really amazing cast in there where it is a social experiment. It's who's the best at strategy, who can manipulate other people. That's what I like in Big Brother. I don't like twists.
Yeah. I mean, let's have a twist or two.
What?
Let's have a twist or two, but we don't need a twist every week.
We had Canada's HOH. Like, I can't complain about that. That was great. But like,
yes.
Yeah, let's just have that one twist and then get rid of everything else.
Yeah, but the thing with Canada's HOH that I didn't like was that I felt like it was almost like it wasn't earned that you guys were gonna, the first 5 was gonna fall anyway. You guys were gonna, somebody from the other side of the house was gonna win, and somebody was gonna be able to take down, Andrew and Kenny and the first 5. And it's almost like that the fact that they made Canada have to do it, I felt like they took something away from you guys.
I think so too, but I mean, you look at the next competition that happened, and the sloppy seconds were the last ones remaining. We kicked everyone out. It didn't really matter that week if Andrew had stayed, Sabrina had stayed. We were still going to win the next competition. We were all still planning at that time to take out some like Andrew or Kenny. So it was going to happen anyways. It just, if we just didn't have Canada's HOH and we instead had that blindside competition where it pretty much came down to me, John, and Heather.
Right.
These things would have happened, so.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Luke Adams, and Luke wants to know, is Willow getting a poor edit in a way? She said in a preseason that she wanted to lay low for the first half of the game. Maybe she doesn't discuss her strategy in the DR, but I think it's more likely that they're simply not airing it. So do you think, does she have any strategy, Neda?
I think she thinks she has strategy.
Oh, you're so anti-Willow.
I'm not anti-Willow.
She's going to be very upset.
Will's going to hate me. No, I I don't really know what Will is doing, really. I don't think she's got a solid one person to go to, and that's what you need in the house, I think. You just need to find that one person you can really, really trust, and she hasn't found that one person, and that's either her fault or that's her fault.
She needs a John.
No, she just needs somebody.
She needs a Neda? Is that what she needs?
Neda.
Okay. This is from Amy at Fizzy27. I know voting JP out is good for Brittany, Bobby, and who's G? Godfrey. But how is it good for Brittany? Oh, all these initials are making me on the fly. So who we got? Brittany. And who's SA?
Sarah.
Sarah and Cindy, who have no working relationship with Godfrey. All right. So okay. So let's just talk this through, Neda. For the players that are in the house, is voting JP out the best move? Or is there any people that you think that keeping JP would be a good move?
If I was in there, I would want to, even if I was Sarah, I would still want to vote out JP because JP had this close thing with Zach, you know, that's just been exposed now. We don't know if he's going to still be close with Zach. If he still is close with Zach, he's got this whole thing with the Fortress happening. He just is like a super fan. He's an intelligent guy who understands what's, you know, he's got a great social game. He's friends with everyone in the house. It doesn't matter. You take out Jordan. If I saw Jordan in the house, this guy who acts like the biggest super fan ever, wears glasses and a bow tie, I would immediately want to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So Godfrey, somebody who has these outbursts where, you know, and you know what, he, like, you can tell on live, he's like, Godfrey is not going to be able to, like, lay low or anything. So you want to keep that kind of person around who doesn't have any really strong ties or anything to anyone. I don't know. That's what I would do.
So, Neda, would you say that Zach's HOH might be, and again, let's get into the hyperbole. Is this one of the top 5 worst HOHs of all time?
Ooh, yeah. Actually, if Jordan leaves, yes.
I mean, the guy went from probably the #1 contender in the house, the guy who had a relationship with everybody, to Captain Canada, to nominating his closest ally in the house, losing his closest ally in the house, and ending up with both of the nominees with like a blood feud to try to get him out of the house, and having everybody in the house, you know, wanting to be basically exposing his entire game to both sides of the house. Both sides of the house want him out now.
And I don't think he even realizes how much he really messed up this week. That's the saddest part.
Yeah, if the goal was to play the middle, that he has done that in putting himself in the middle of a tornado of where everybody on the house is gunning for him next week.
Like, if somebody ever needs to know, like, how not to play, just watch Zach's week. You're good.
Yeah. And you know who's probably got to be loving this, Neda? Peter Brown has got to be smiling ear to ear, knowing that the guy that ripped him on Twitter before this season started.
But how funny is that? Zach is hating on somebody for not being able to make a move when he literally has all the power in his hands. Doesn't make a big move.
Yeah, must see sideshow coming up this week. All right, so let's go ahead and let's bring in the live feeds. Let's bring in Shannon and talk about the latest of this hour. All right, live feed time. All right. Is it okay if John overhears this? He doesn't mind it being spoiled on the live feeds?
Like, as if he cares about Big Brother.
All right, Shannon. All right, what is the latest at this hour? Give us. Hold on. Let me play our. Do we have any breaking news at this hour to report?
I don't think so. I have it trending on Twitter over on the other side. That's what I keep looking at.
All right, tell us. All right, what is the latest at this hour in the vote between JP and Godfrey? Decision 2015.
I had heard they were trying to swing Bobby over because Bobby didn't want to go against the Chop Shop.
Could you just lay out the where we are at this hour? Just give us the overall prevailing thoughts of the house right now.
I think as of right now that it would be Jordan looking to going home.
Last I checked, they were saying if Cindy, because they don't know yet if Cindy.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're saying if Cindy does have a vote, then they're going to vote out Jordan.
How do they not know if Cindy has a vote?
Haven't told her.
The brother hasn't told her? That's
Yeah,
fishy,
I think.
Neda.
Oh, I think they offered her 10 grand for something.
They offered her 10 grand not to vote?
No, they offered her 10 grand to leave out of the house. I didn't see that on feeds or
Leave the
anything.
house?
Yeah, for her to like. John, did you just make that up?
No, that's what it's all.
Yeah, because he was.
Hold on,
saying,
hold on. We have this is.
Breaking news are happening now.
All right, so John Party is reporting Big Brother has offered Cindy with
That's
an
the breaking news that John Party is talking about Big Brother.
Yes, John. Breaking news. John Party is talking about Big Brother for the first time since last May, and also is saying that Cindy has been offered $10,000 to leave the Big Brother house. She should take that.
She should take that. No.
Why not?
Oh my God! If I would have played that game for no money, if it wasn't even televised, I would play that game.
Yes,
like,
but
you go back into the house, you have a second chance, and you leave. No.
yeah, but you had a chance to win. Does Cindy have a chance to win the game?
For mine, she probably thinks she has a chance to win, and I think she actually does have a chance to win.
Okay. All right. So it seems like Big Brother is trying to play with the vote one way or the other to try to get Cindy's vote out of the mix, right?
Honestly, I have no clue what's happening, but if I were Cindy, I'd be like, you guys tell me. Just tell me so I can play my game now.
Yeah. All right. So let's just talk about the votes real quick. So okay. So JP doesn't get to vote. Godfrey doesn't get to vote. All right. Zach doesn't vote. All right. So let's just go down the line here. Okay. So what is Bruno is voting to evict JP? Correct?
Yeah.
Or not? What's going on, Shannon?
Everything is so up in the air right now. They were trying to convince Bobby because Bobby just has no clue what's happening in the game, right? So they're trying to convince him that that's the best thing to do, and they're also trying to just wait and see, I guess, if Cindy gets a vote or not. But Bruno is on board for getting rid of JP for sure.
Okay, so Bruno wants to get rid of JP for sure. Okay, are there votes that we definitely know, Shannon?
A lot of them just seem to be dependent.
Right? Kevin will vote to evict Godfrey, correct?
Yeah.
Fortress. What do you think of Fortress, Neda?
I think it's stupid. I think if your alliance needs a symbol, then why do you need a symbol? Why can't you just play the game?
Was there a name for what you and John's alliance?
No, it's just like eventually, like I think the last week of the house, we're like, wait, maybe people are calling us Jeddah outside, and I guess it was true, but no, it was just always John. Oh no, it was called the Nedas. I forgot.
The Nedas. It's not even called Jeddah.
No, yeah, no, but our alliance was called the Nedas.
Okay, for you and John, your alliance was called the Nedas?
So it was the Sloppy Seconds originally, but they vetoed that name.
Did you guys, who vetoed it, Big Brother?
No, just the Sloppy Seconds didn't want to be called the Nedas, I guess.
Okay, so do you and John have a gang sign for the Nedas? Like if you guys went back to, how would you vote in the diary room?
Probably with me taking the knife out of my back that he put in.
The knife.
That would be our symbol. Him putting the knife in and me pulling it out. John, are you down for that?
Hundo.
Yeah,
Hundo.
There you go, Rob.
Okay, so all right, so Kevin is definitely going to be a vote against Godfrey. Kevin will vote to evict Godfrey. Okay. Ashley, she'll do what does Zach want at this point? Do we know this, Shannon?
Zach wants Godfrey gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so will Ashley, Zach's showmance, will she follow suit?
And Ash and Peely will vote to keep Godfrey then too. Peely will vote however Kevin wants. Who else is there?
Okay. All right. What will the block of Brittany and Sarah do?
Sarah wants JP gone now, I believe. From last I was watching on feeds. Shannon, am I correct?
Yeah, that's the last I saw too.
Oh boy.
Yeah, Sarah. So then we'd say Britt. Let's put Cindy as a maybe.
Okay. Now, who is Cindy aligned with now at this point?
Cindy's like with the fembots, so Sarah and Brittany.
Okay.
Last I saw, she's only told Sarah that she was sequestered away with everyone in the house because everyone else still thinks that she was sequestered away individually in a hotel.
Okay. What about Willow? What's Willow gonna do?
Willow is going to do, I think, whatever Zach tells her to do.
Okay, so that's gonna be a vote to evict Godfrey.
Top squad is a thing, right?
Okay. And then Bobby, we don't know what he's doing, Shannon, at this point?
Yeah, last I heard they were trying to pull him over, and a lot of it was dependent on whether Cindy for sure had a vote or not.
Okay. So tell me if we're missing anybody here. Okay, so I've got votes to evict JP are Bruno, Sarah, and Brittany, and then vote and Bobby that we don't know where he is, right? We think he's with the votes to evict JP.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he'll eventually end up doing what Bruno wants him to do, I think.
Okay, and then votes to evict Godfrey are Kevin, Ashley, and Peely, and then
Willow, potentially.
and who?
Willow, potentially.
And Willow. Okay, so that's 4. So then, are there only 8 votes this week, or am I missing somebody?
Well, no, because then now if that's the way it goes, if Bobby does vote for Jordan and Willow does vote for Godfrey, then Cindy would be the deciding factor.
Right, unless she doesn't get to vote, and then it would be a 4-4 tie, which then would go to Zach, and Zach would vote to evict Godfrey. So Cindy really really holds all the cards this week. So that's how crazy is this? Where you have this person who wasn't even in the game 4 days ago. Here she is. She's back. You can't put her on the block. She knows everybody's dirty laundry, and she's going to decide the rest of the season how this is going to go. Isn't that crazy, Neda?
That's just Big Brother for you now, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, has the Chop Shop turned on Zach at this point?
I don't understand how Chop Shop is still a thing. Like, I don't think we still have Chop Squad like meetings and stuff. I'm like, wait, like people still believe that's like a thing? Like,
Yeah. I laugh because whenever I go out, which is not often, Neda, I drive past. There's a barber shop down the street from me, which is called the Chop Shop.
That's so funny. Oh my god. I bet they're doing better business than the actual.
Oh, sure. The Big Brother Canada boom is huge. And everybody's going to get their haircut. Everybody says, give me the Ginger Ninja 604 proper.
Oh my god. He must be so happy that he got to leave and go fix that haircut.
What are you talking? I bet he was happy with it.
You know what? Greg would be the kind of person who'd be happy with that type of haircut.
I think he would be. All right. So, So Shannon, tell me. What are we waiting on tonight? We're waiting to hear if Cindy gets a vote, and then tonight should be a crazy night on the live feeds, right?
Yes, because also Godfrey kind of screwed up a little bit. Again, I don't know what's happened since then, but he went and told Kevin that they have the votes for Jordan to leave. So I don't know how that's going to play out now.
Okay.
So Jordan into a little bit of a more crazy thing.
All right. So Jordan, you would have to think, not necessarily based on what we've seen for the first month of the season, but all of this Big Brother knowledge of what works, what doesn't work here. This could potentially be his final 24 hours in the Big Brother house. What has been his plan of attack to save himself? What has his campaign been like, Neda?
I don't know, just scrambling.
Scrambling. Shannon, has it been ugly, the campaigning, or is he doing a good job?
I haven't really seen him try to campaign yet. Really, it's
sometimes that's good.
Scrambling.
Sometimes that can be good. Who has Godfrey been campaigning better, Neda?
I wouldn't say better, because Godfrey still doesn't really understand much about how to go about it, like not going to Kevin and things like that. But Jordan might have made a good move with the whole, like selling out Zach to Kevin and aligning himself with Kevin. I think Kevin now could, because of that, Kevin, Ashley, Pilly are all gonna vote to keep Jordan. So I don't know.
Now, tell me this, Neda. Why does it benefit Sarah and Brittany to get rid of JP, especially if he's anti-Zach? Isn't JP more likely to work with them than Godfrey is? Doesn't it seem more likely that Godfrey is going to go back to Bruno and Bobby in the Chop Shop after this week?
Okay, from us, like watching the live feeds and knowing everything that's going on in the house, of course. But when you're in Sarah's position, if I was in her position, I would see that. I would just think Jordan's much better at this game. He's an obstacle I need to go through to get to the end of the game. I can't see people really trusting Godfrey, or Godfrey not blowing up his game too much. And also, I would just not trust that Jordan really doesn't want to go after Zach. I just wouldn't trust that. So if I was in the house as Sarah, yeah, I would say get rid of JP. But us knowing what we do know now, maybe it's not better.
Okay.
It's obviously for fans to always be like, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. So I don't want to put on, aluminum foil hat or anything like that, but if based on what you've seen from the show, Neda, what do you suspect production would want to see happen? Do you feel like they would want to see Jordan stay? Do you feel like they'd rather see Godfrey stay, or you think that they don't even care as long as it's a good show?
If Godfrey hadn't had that killer speech and, the sleeping giant hadn't just been awoken, I think Jordan would have been the favorite to stay. But now that there's this whole thing where it could be an epic week if Jordan goes home, screws up Zach's game, Jordan just made this huge mistake, and Godfrey is now this guy who came out of nowhere, and people want to see more of him. They don't want to see him leave yet after that speech.
Yeah, people want to see the good TV.
You want good TV?
Yes.
Does everybody want good TV?
Yes.
Is that what they want?
Yes.
Supposedly,
right, Neda?
Supposedly.
All right, let's take some questions. I'm fascinated with this. I really felt like Big Brother Canada 3 was just sort of, just going through the paces, and we were waiting for everything to explode. And I would be so, if it wasn't JP on the fence here with his life hanging in the balance, I would be so ecstatic. But I've been nervous.
You can't be biased. Come on, Jordan was one of my favorites too. We're just talking game here.
I know, but I'm gonna feel really bad for him. I know how much he wants to be there.
Of course, I'm gonna feel bad for a super fan that gets evicted, but
I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel bad if he gets, but this is very exciting though. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Finally.
The feeds are freaking amazing.
Yeah. Okay. This is from Survivor Fan 1515. Who's playing worse, Jordan or Zach? Zach thinks no one's after him, but Jordan is just playing so outwardly bad. Love you, Neda. Okay.
Someone likes me.
Yes.
God, I think they're equally bad, but I would almost say Jordan because he's the one on the block right now with that the possibility of him going home.
Yes.
But they both kind of suck this week.
Yeah, Jordan has been bad. I think that Zach is worse, even though it's Jordan who could be the ultimate one that goes home, because I think that Jordan has wised up to what's actually going on in the house and actually has a better finger on the pulse of what's happening in the house, whereas I think that Zach is still like head in the clouds and thinking he's doing a good job. Like I think Jordan knows how bad he effed up. I don't think that Zach knows exactly. What do you think of that, Neda?
No, I completely agree. I think Zach is still clueless. Like I said, after Godfrey gave his speech, he had a little smile on his face, oh, this is just one big joke, this is gonna make great TV. But no, Zach, you're really screwed right now. And he doesn't get that. At least Jordan went and made that alliance with Kevin. He is planning on completely selling out. If he does stay, selling out Zach and stuff to Bruno and Bobby next week. So he does have a plan moving forward. Whereas Zach is still, I'm going to ride the middle.
Neda, what do you think of Kevin? We haven't brought his name up too many times tonight. I think that Kevin is somebody who I think has a lot of good skills. He seems like he should be really good at this game. I just haven't seen a lot of evidence that he is.
Can I ask you, do you think Kevin's getting... I'll ask Shannon, actually. Shannon, do you think Kevin's getting a better at it or a worse at it than he does?
Good question.
When it comes to game.
I don't know, a lot of Kevin's gameplay, a lot of it came down to luck, that he happened to be in the HOH bathroom there and overheard those girls having that conversation and him not getting voted out so early on and resulting in Cindy getting evicted. So I feel like he should be so smart and so good at this game, and I was so hopeful for him, and I still have hope for him, but...
Oh, Kevin could totally win this still.
Yeah, he could for sure. It's just, I don't know, a lot of it's luck, but I still have faith in him that he can.
Yeah, we haven't seen much actual legitimate strategy that come up with 100% on his own yet. So I think once he does start making those moves, then we can judge it better. But I can't make judgments so far. But I think he's one of the guys in the house who literally went from being in one of the worst positions to now he's in one of the best positions in the house. He must be doing something right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I also feel like that's a good spot to be in Big Brother also, where you have to fight for your life early. I think that once you have that brush with death early on, even though he hasn't been great since then, I feel like that's we've seen that a lot on Big Brother, Brother where somebody is really on the hot seat early on and bounces back and is able to win the game from that.
I mean, like, again, like he'll have such a great story if he does get the final two. He'll have a killer speech. We were scared of Adele just because we knew he'd have such an amazing speech if he got to the end, because he was the early target. Everyone wanted him to go home, and he still lasted until like final 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I have to.
If I was in like final 4 or 5, I'd be like, well, I'd still be scared of Kevin before that, but around that time, I'd be like, he will have an amazing speech about how he got to the end of the game.
What about Peely? Does he need to ditch Peely?
No, why would you ditch Peely?
What? Because you have her in your pool?
Yeah, actually, I do, Rob. So I'm gonna keep Peely around for a while.
She's not good TV. We want good TV.
Does everybody want good TV?
Yes, that's not Peely.
Every time you press that, I'm just not gonna speak to you for 10 seconds.
I'm gonna get time out. Shannon, does that go for you too?
And we'll just have a conversation.
All right. Let's take some more questions here with Neda, who's killing it, by the way. I'm the awesome _ says, why was Kevin so eager to trust JP after he told Kevin about the Newport 4 weeks after it was formed? Is Kevin this naive? Okay, well, let me address this, because people have sent me this on the live feeds where Jordan made the comparison in this moment of talking to Kevin between something that I did on Survivor. That he actually referenced something that happened in my season of Survivor, where I told Matthew, who wasn't in my alliance, that I actually was in this other alliance, and the alliance that I had with Matthew was not real. That was not the real alliance, but now I want to make it the real alliance because I don't trust the people that I'm with anymore, and I switched and voted with the other people, which was good when I did it, but that for Jordan, I don't know if it was the best idea to reference that he was the Matthew von Ertfelder in this situation to Kevin. Now, I don't think that Kevin was familiar with the scene, so I don't think it was a bad move. But I don't think that you should have necessarily told Kevin that he was the me, that Jordan was the me, and that he was the guy that I had been, duping for the last couple of weeks.
No, and I don't think I would have even gone as far to even say, like, Newport had a name or anything, because that's a lot of game you were just playing behind Kevin's back. And if I were Kevin, I'd be like, wow, you are sketchy.
But Kevin likes it, though.
I'm not take the offer of wanting to work with him, because Jordan's in a super desperate spot right now. You can maybe, like, get him to become super loyal to you, whatever, but, like, I would never fully trust Jordan at all after that.
Yeah, the thing about Kevin is, like, he seems like he'd be really good at this game, but it's like Jordan tells him something like that, and he's like, oh, that's great, that's fantastic, because I would have been, I would have had no idea if you didn't tell me. So now I know that Fortress all the way. Like, he's not like, well, screw you, Jordan. Like, yeah, like it just feels like he's just like, I don't know, he seems gullible almost.
Yes, but I also think Kevin's like a really quick learner. I think he's like, having gone through everything that he's gone through, his brush with like eviction and everything, I think he's learned a lot from that. I think he's going to keep on learning from other people's mistakes in this house. So I think he's going to pick up this game a lot quicker than anyone else is. So yeah. I think it's gonna help him.
Well, I hope so, because I think the guy is incredibly charismatic. I really like him. Yeah, I think I think he's really great, and I think him winning would be a fantastic story, but I feel like, I just want to see him get a little more with it.
I think we were all hoping everyone would get a little bit more with it on these feeds for a while, but...
I know. I'm hoping that JP can rally here and get back together with Kevin and then ride out the Fortress thing for a while, but... I don't know. I might have to make go in on Godfrey then. If we're gonna lose somebody good this week, and that's what kind of sucks.
We are gonna lose somebody good, but that's when it makes such like amazing whatever to watch when there's two crazy people up on the block and they're battling it out.
Yeah, and I feel like this is so rare in Big Brother, in modern Big Brother, where we have a week where the vote is really coming down to the wire. It's between the last year or so, between this season of Big Brother Canada and the last season of Big Brother US, it's like it's so lopsided. we had that week in the Big Brother U.S. house, maybe the only one of 2 or 3 weeks that were like this, where Zach ended up getting saved. BBUS Zach, not Fruit Loops Dingus Zach, not Captain Canada Zach, where it looked like he was going to be done. We did like a whole eulogy for him on the show, and then the house changed his mind, or it changed its mind, and really Zach went to sleep the whole time. He didn't even know he didn't know he was getting voted out, and I don't think he knew that he got saved until after this all happened. But this is exciting. This is what's great about Big Brother.
Oh, like you said, like you can literally go to bed one night thinking, okay, Jordan's going out tonight, and then tomorrow you'll wake up and Godfrey was evicted. Like same thing, everybody who was watching live feeds thought that Allison and stuff, they were gonna vote out Arlie, and then Arlie ends up, or they were gonna keep Arlie, and Arlie ends up getting evicted. So
yeah,
you should never feel like you don't have a chance to last in Big Brother. That's the one good thing. If you really feel like you're on your way out of the house, there is always something that could change.
What's it like in the house? And I know so many other times in Big Brother Canada 2, you were the one that had the plan set up. Maybe everybody else didn't know what was going on, but you're playing defense probably more than you're playing offense. Like, you've set the plan up, you know what's going to happen, it's going to go your way, but there's somebody else in the house that's trying to change the course of what you're going to do. How do you play defense in the Big Brother house?
You just have to make sure that people trust you more than anybody else, that you are the most trustworthy person, you're the one that they come to and tell when other people are, that's why you need to spend that first little while in the house laying low and building actual relationships with these people so that they fully trust you, and that's how it continues on into the game, I think. I don't think it's like a one-time thing, this is what you have to do. Big Brother is like an ongoing thing where you have to be playing the entire time. You have to be aligned with the right people so that 5 weeks down the road you can make these big moves, or if you are in trouble, you do have people to save you. You always got to be thinking ahead. I don't think it's like, okay, I'm in trouble now, what do I do? Or maybe I've made the plan, what do I do now,
I just want to also talk about in broad strokes or in a big picture of talk about, the role of the assertive woman in the Big Brother house. Okay. And I want to talk about how, it seems like typically if a woman comes into the Big Brother house, whether it's somebody who's has sort of a aggressive personality like a Neha, or somebody who is putting off the vibe of being sort of like sexually assertive like Arisha, those women tend to be early boots on Big Brother. Do you advise women to come into the Big Brother house and really to just tone down their personality as much as possible, or sort of like try to consciously fit in as much as they can in the early couple of weeks of Big Brother?
Yeah, and oh my God, it's like such an unfortunate thing that people need to even be like have to do that, but it's not just girls either. I think anyone who goes in there, just tone it down for the first little while until you can, really just pump up your game. But girls have such a hard time in Big Brother, honestly, because girls don't want to align with you because there's all this like stigma about girls' alliances. It's never worked really. So girls are coming after you. Guys don't trust you because they want to go and make that little bro alliance that they trust more. So you have everyone in the house coming after you. And also, here's the thing. Smart mental competition, a guy can win that. A guy can win a physical competition. The only advantage girls would have is in the endurance. So already it's just an unequal battle. It's unequal. It's just hard for girls to win this game, and that's why I think fans get so excited over girls like Neha or Sarah who are doing amazing at this game, or who are trying to make big moves, because we don't see that often. We don't see a girl usually do well in this game.
Yeah, I really feel like you had the right blueprint in just that, you were able to be under the radar for the first couple of weeks, where I just feel like it's such a thing on Big Brother where, if a woman is too outspoken early on, she's just going to be picked off and isn't going to have a chance to play the game that you ended up playing. And I feel like you did such a good job, whether it's fair or unfair, I feel like you really did master how to do it. In whatever climate of Big Brother exists in North American Big Brother.
Thank you. That's actually a great compliment. Thanks.
Yeah, well, I think that you're not just a great role model for all Big Brother players, but I feel specifically for if I was a female Big Brother contestant, I feel like I would go into the house, and you don't want to because I feel like that you could scare off the other women. I feel like as was the case with Risha. That really, that she was getting votes from not just the guys, but also the women on that first night in the house, but also in the case of Neha, where these other guys are really threatened by her. I made the analogy a couple of weeks ago about how also there's the thing where a woman that tries to go for a showmance also, where if I made the analogy of it being like a trapeze act, where she could try to go for the showmance, and if she gets it, then she's good. She'll be around for a while. But if she goes for the showmance and fails, as we saw with Cindy with an S in the case of Bobby earlier on this season, where if you put it out there and then you get rejected, that could be the cause of getting nominated on the block as well.
Yeah, also, how long did it take you to come up with that analogy?
Not long. I think about this stuff often. You have to, if you don't get the trapeze, yeah, you'll fall.
No, that's actually like a very perfect analogy to make. You're right, though. I feel like the only people who aren't targets really when they end up in a showmance, someone's like Peely, who they think Kevin's the head of this, whatever, get rid of him. Peely's not going to do anything.
Right. Okay. Let's keep going with more questions for Neda. Zachary Klein says, what's your take on Sarah? Do you think she has a chance to win? You said you love Sarah.
I love Sarah, but someone needs to get that girl a joint so she can chill out in there. She won't stop talking. She goes and tells people things that they should not be discussing at all. So I love Sarah. I'm really rooting for Sarah, but she's on edge.
She's on edge. She's gotta chill out. Is it true that you and John are going to hang out with Sarah after the season is over?
Well, I guess we're going to hang out with... Yeah, of course.
Oh, no.
Everyone.
That's right.
Sarah literally gives my clothing line a shout-out every day, so I love her.
She's great. She was great casting. They did a good job.
Yeah, she was, you know what, I totally agree with that. She was one of the best casts, because she's a really smart girl, but 1 second she's screwing up her game, 1 second she's in the perfect spot, 1 second she's having a breakdown by the hot tub, the other she's talking to herself in the bedroom. Great. Oh.
Yeah. I'm surprised that she's on the fence about JP also after that conversation they had at the end of the episode. I know it's only one scene, but it did seem like that she was bonding with him.
They call themselves what they call themselves? The Jason and Danielle of Big Brother. I think that's what they keep calling themselves. They've got a little secret alliance going on where
in Big Brother 3, like Danielle Reyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
They keep referring to themselves under whatever, and I just don't think the trust is there. I think it's just fake trust. I don't think she really trusts him. I don't think he really trusts her. I think they're just using each other as a vote, and they think the other person they think that they're influencing the other person or manipulating them, but they're doing the same thing to each other. I think.
I feel like Jordan has all these alliances, but I don't think any of them are real.
Okay, everybody supposedly has some sort of alliance with a name with it in that house.
Too much. Too many alliances, too many names.
The War Room has a freaking thing with the hidden POV and the Have Not Room. Alliances going on everywhere.
Too many. Okay. What about this question from Callie, who says, do you think that Zach not using the veto on Jordan will be his ultimate downfall, much like, say, Peter not using the veto on Topaz? I apologize. I'm just amused by Zach calling Peter a crappy player and making the same mistake that Peter made.
Oh, my God. Who isn't amused by that, though? That's just funny. That's just karma, I think. And yeah, I think that's definitely going to be his downfall is he lost his #1 ally. Even if Jordan doesn't get evicted, he still lost JP's trust. So
Yeah.
He really ended up screwing himself over.
Not good. Okay, Alex Kidwell, the great live feed reporter, wants to know, what are the 3 most important things that JP needs to do to stay in the house this week? And Godfrey, do you have a list? What are the keys to success, Neda?
People think I've got freaking notes right next to me. That's in my room. What does Jordan need to do? He needs to...
Give us one thing for each guy.
Okay, I think Godfrey needs to go and really sell his case to, like, really, really, really sell his case and really, like, just give 100% loyalty to those people that we listed that are, and I think he really needs to work on Bobby. That's the one person that Godfrey needs to go and work on. Jordan, I would honestly say, like, lay low, just chill out. The alliances that you think are going on, just make sure they are 100% solid. And Cindy, like, Cindy's supposed to be your showman. She's supposed to be the one that's supposed to be a vote for you. Like, don't let her out of your sight. So the people you think you're aligned with, the Kevin, Ashley, Peely, Willow, Cindy, who would give him the votes, like, just make sure that they are on your side.
Do JP and Cindy stand a chance outside of this house? Could they be the new John and Neda?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Let's hope so.
I don't know.
We're rooting for
Don't
Ginny.
ask me questions like this, Rob.
Ginny with a J. Okay. This is from Sports Lover. Question for Neda and Rob. 2 favorite reality stars ever. Wow. Hashtag now that Zach and Jordan don't own the house. Who does? Who is running the house? Who's in the back? Is it Bruno?
No one's running the house right now, I wouldn't say. That's going to be, right now it's literally a scramble between everyone, so I think it's going to come down to
It's like we know that there's a power shift, but
No.
it's not as clean as where in Big Brother Canada 2, where the first 5 fell out of power and the sloppy seconds moved into power. This is almost like I feel like if you're playing pool and like all of the balls were like on one half of the table and nobody could get a shot off, and now like the cue ball just now is breaking everything up, sending everything everywhere, and now we have no idea really who has the power in the house.
You have really great analogies.
That's what this is right now, Neda.
Yeah, again, just has to wait until whoever wins HOH next week because it's just such a mad scramble. No one really knows what they're doing. No one's votes are really decided. No one's really that loyal to anyone anymore, so it's going to have to wait and see.
This is interesting.
Cindy gets a vote this week. She controls the house, so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, it really is nuts that I feel like we haven't seen this in a while in Big Brother, just like what a land grab this is going to be now after this. Like this really could just be, if you have 4 people together, you could run this house right now.
Unless you're Ashley or Peely, if you're not going for the next HOH, you're done.
You're dumb. Okay.
You're done because you don't know what is happening in this house. You have no solid actual alliance backing you up. You have no clue. So, like, go win that HOH so you know what's happening.
Okay. All right, let's do a couple more questions. This is from Aida. Wants to know, is there any chance of recovery for Zach, or does this week mark the beginning of the end for him? If yes, what does he need to do? Is Zach DOA, Neda?
No, Zach's not done. No one's really done in this house. Like, you gotta... He can make a comeback. Like we said, it could be, like, last minute and people could still, like, go and trust Zach. He just needs to buy everyone's trust back, I think. And, yeah, if he wins, like... I was going to say maybe if he wins not the next HOH because he can't, but the one after that, he could really use that to solidify an alliance that's not going to come after him. He can really use that time to, like, get into people's ears, get into people's heads, but can Zach do that?
See, I feel like he's on the block no matter what this week. I almost feel like he's in the situation that in Big Brother US last summer. I think he's in the situation last season where it's almost like, especially if Jordan stays, it's like that vote that I was talking about where Zach ended up staying and then everybody was pissed off at Frankie Grande, and then he had to tell everybody that his sister was Ariana Grande after he won the veto. I feel like that is where Zach is going to be, where I feel like he's going up on the block no matter what next week, and he's going to need to win the veto.
Well, he just needs to tell people that Justin Bieber is his brother, and he's okay.
Yes.
There you go, guys. That's what Zach needs to do.
What's his last name? What's his last name?
I don't even know. What's Zach's last name?
Canada, right?
Oh, Olink or something. Oilink?
All right, we'll go with Bieber. Justin Bieber is a mega pop star and is my brother. Okay. I think that's it. I think he needs to say maybe that John Party is his brother. Would that work?
Yeah, John says yes. I was just waiting for his answer. I don't do anything without John's approval.
Okay. That's very... What do you say?
No, nothing. He's screaming nonsense.
All right. Derek Hazelton says, interesting. I hope that the anti-Zach faction combines to take out JP this week, even though he's an RHAP fan. Yeah. If you're anti-Zach, you really could pick your poison here. You want to be you want to get behind Godfrey or you want to get behind JP?
What was the question?
I think that, well, basically, it was more of a statement that even though.
I know, like, what am I answering here?
Yeah. So what do you think is better for Zach ultimately? JP to stay or for Godfrey to stay?
JP, I think, because he could still maybe buy back that. He's screwed either way.
Yeah, here's what Jordan needs to do. Let me try to. That I know he can't hear us, but maybe if he is tuned into the right frequencies, maybe he can.
Your podcast
Rob has a podcast. So here's where he's losing the that Godfrey owns the anti-Zach narrative. Well, Jordan is like behind the scenes of like, boy, I'm gonna if I stay in the house, then I'm going to come after Zach. He's not going to know what hit him. And Godfrey is out there publicly owning that. I think that what Jordan needs to know is, hey, you want to get Zach? I'm a better person to go after Zach than Godfrey. Godfrey doesn't know what the hell he's doing. I'm the person that you want to go after Zach. I know all his secrets. I'm the person. I know where his weak points are. Recruit me to go after Zach, not Godfrey. What do you think of that, Neda?
No, that's exactly what he needs to do, because him and Kevin have had talks where they plan on, if Bobby or Bruno win, for them to go and sell out Zach about Zach telling them about the Chop Squad and everything. They need to go do that now, I think. You're right. You're completely right.
I think that Jordan, I think, is playing this like he's going to survive it. And what he needs to have in place, like, okay, I don't want to burn this bridge with Zach, even though I'm going to burn him. He wants to sort of be like, Natalie on Survivor last season after she got burned by everybody after Jeremy got voted out, but wants everybody to still think she's working with them. I think he needs to blow up his game a little bit. Otherwise, he's not going to have a game to stick around and play in 2 days.
Yeah, because he's planning out what he's going to do for next week, but yeah, he's
not going to be here.
He's going to stay.
He's going to be here. He's going to be... He's going to be reporting on the live feeds with Shannon. Yes, Shannon, should Jordan get a position as a live feed reporter?
If he wants one, sure.
Okay. All right.
Like, he is not taking my
He's
job.
already.
Yes. What's that, Neda?
That's a Shannon's like, he is not taking my job.
Yes.
Back off, Jordan.
All right. All right. We'll just get him. Look, we'll just let him keep going, and he could still do a podcast tomorrow about what's top 15, Big Brother jury goats of all time, or whatever he wants to do.
Oh, Jordan.
Just keep him going. Neda, I've been very impressed that you've really got these live feeds down too.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I feel like this is one of the seasons I've watched live feeds like the least amount of times, just because like there's so much other stuff going on. But I'm usually like a huge live feed fan, nerd.
Yeah.
I need a life.
I'm curious to know, on the Google Hangout, when you're talking, it says pizza on your face. Why does it say pizza? Are you sponsored? Are you sponsored by?
I know. I'm probably logged into. Oh my god, I wish I was sponsored by pizzas. I'm logged into the pizza viewing party, whatever we're having.
Okay.
You could have told me that earlier.
I don't know. It says, right, Shannon? Do you see that? It says pizza when she talks?
Yeah.
Who doesn't like pizza? This is me trying to win favor from the fans.
Okay. All right. Frank Ashton wants to know, has anyone ever alienated so many people in one HOH like Zach has this week? I wouldn't even call it like HOH-itis, right? It's just that his nominations have been so bad.
Oh, everything was bad. Everything, there's nominations, there's veto ceremony, the way he nominated those, yeah, just everything.
Yeah. Okay, let's do 2 more questions. Jericho wants to know, what do you think of BBCAN's competition? So far, they've all been very original and entertaining. What have you thought about the competition so far, Neda?
Oh, I love it. And I love the competition for them to get back into the house, because I love endurance comps. So I've been loving these comps so far.
Yeah. Okay. And one last question. Spicy Wasabi, has Jordan been a good representative of Rob as a podcast? What do you think, Neda? This has been the first time.
This is your podcast.
Well, no, because I'm biased because Jordan was the first person that we've ever sent into one of these shows that was a loyal listener of the podcast, a member of.
Talk about you on the feeds 24/7, Rob.
He was a member of the podcast community that we've sent off to actually be on and we've had returning players who are friends of the show go back, but this is the first time that we really had somebody who was a regular listener of the show go out there into Big Brother and play. How do you think the experiment worked, Neda?
Well, you're just setting me up to bash him because you can't bash him.
No.
I'm gonna do it for you.
It's been fun, and I'm knock on wood that hopefully this isn't the last that we get to talk about Jordan.
Rob,
Okay?
just watch. He's gonna stay this week, and he's gonna win the game with the Fortress.
I hope so. I hope that's the case. But I do feel like there's some valuable lessons learned. Don't take it for granted that you're there because you think you're safe. You could think you're as safe as anything, and these people will turn on you like that. You are never safe in that house. That's the lesson to be learned.
And I think he's a very, very intelligent guy. I think he has completely learned his lesson. He seems like he's like that switch is on now. He's like, okay, this is what I need to do now. This is how I fucked up. So I think he knows. I think if he stays, this is gonna help him now.
Yeah, he'll be dangerous if he can stay in the house, Neda. I really think he will be one of these people that was on the operating room table and died, and then went to heaven, and then came back, and then it'd be like, oh my God, I've changed everything. That's actually like Cindy also. She actually was also in heaven and she came back.
See, it does happen. We just need to have a little prayer circle for Jordan, and he'll survive.
Yeah. All right, Neda. Let me just say again. That you have blown us away again. Fantastic job on the appearance. I will not rest unless you come on the podcast again with us before the end of the season.
Yeah, no.
Okay, good. All right, so we'll check back in with you later on this season. How is John doing? Is he dressed now?
I don't know. I hope so.
You hope so. Well. Whatever you want. I know you don't mean that. I know you are hoping that John is not yet dressed.
Oh my goodness.
that he is Captain Canada. Is he not? Are you mad that Zach is being known as Captain Canada?
Oh my God, that's so funny. No, I was kind of hoping Zach was gonna replace John.
To replace John? Were you
on the show?
Oh. Are you hoping? Are you happy that John got?
Sorry, John.
Are you happy that John didn't get dressed like a baby today?
No, because I think he actually looks cuter like that. It really changes the appearance,
Yeah. Was that weird that they sent John into the house as a baby just for no random reason?
Oh my God, no, that's great. That's what Big Brother Canada is. It's so random. I love it. That's so funny.
When will you be going into the house? Will you be going into the house for a strategy session like when Emmett came to visit you?
I don't know, but if I go back in for a strategy session, I want to be able to tell these people whatever I want to be able to tell them, and obviously that won't be the case, right? So. What
will you tell them?
Well, I want to just talk to Sarah. I want to have a strategy session with Sarah and Peely, I think. Those are the people. And just to chill out, for her to just trust like a couple of people and stick to those people and not run her mouth to everyone and just chill out. And I want to just tell Peely, just, start winning some stuff, start doing some stuff, because you're in a freaking great position right now. Okay, hold on. I have one last question here for you. This is a question from @John_party on Twitter. Question to Neda. Is John a better boyfriend or a Big Brother player, and is he still the coolest guy ever? #RHAP. So Rob is the coolest guy ever, so no, you're not, Jonathan. But he's a better boyfriend than a Big Brother player, so. Better boyfriend than a Big Brother player. Well, he won the game, though. How did he win the game? so he's so you're saying that with your help, he is the best boyfriend ever? Is that what you're saying? I just like to help the less fortunate. So.
Yes. All right. Well, that's good. That you guys are a great story on reality TV and otherwise. That you were not a showmance in the show, but you've gone on outside of the house to be a fantastic story. Anytime you guys want to come on, I appreciate you guys being such great friends of the podcast, and this was so much fun.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Shannon.
Yes. Okay. Shannon is speechless now.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
Okay, we have to let Shannon go so she can give her, water to her rabbit again.
Is your rabbit dead? Like, you need to go check on that
No,
thing.
the rabbit's fine.
He's
The rabbit's
fine. He's
Okay.
he's laying down. He's chill.
All right, so coming up next on Big Brother Canada, we are going to be live on Friday afternoon, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Still working on lining up what that show is going to be about, but you're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll talk about how this shapes up anyway. We'll talk about the new HOH and what's going to happen. Big Brother Canada has picked up, Neda.
Finally.
Finally. It took 5 weeks, but it is firing on all
How long
cylinders.
it takes.
Yes. Also, is it thanks to the Twistos twist? Thanks, KFC?
Thanks, Big Brother.
All right. So we'll be back on Friday. Plus, we're going to get into all the things from Survivor. Speaking of twists, Survivor is about to unleash a big new twist on Wednesday night. So we want to see what that is all about. Join us for Survivor Know-It-Alls at 9:15 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I will speak with the next person kicked off of Survivor, and then we'll do our big podcast. Great show coming up on Thursday. Richard Hatch will be our guest to talk about this week's episode of Survivor, and then we'll answer your Survivor voicemails with another great Survivor podcaster. Colin Stone will be our recap voicemail guest. So get your voicemails in for Thursday. All right, everybody. Thanks so much, Neda. Neda, we need a hashtag for this episode.
The Nedas.
The Nedas. Okay. Okay, and then and of course, is there an emoji for pull the knife out of your back? Do they have that?
I think it's just the bloody knife.
The bloody knife.
Blood splatter.
All right. Follow Neda on Twitter. Neda, what's your Twitter handle?
My Twitter handle is Neda_Kalantar. Also, John and I do a weekly show as well for BBCAN3. It's called Plugged In, and it's on YouTube.
Okay, so it's plugged. How do we find it?
Just type in John and Neda, it'll probably come up. Or
John
John
and
Neda.
John and Neda plugged in. Is that, do you guys do that independently, or is that on with a network?
Oh no, it's just independent. We're just doing it for fun.
Okay, so check out John and Neda plugged in on YouTube, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Will John be dressed when you guys do John and Neda plugged in?
He has to be dressed because we're having Neda and Johnny on our show this week.
Oh my God! Okay, that's going to be a great show. So check that out. All right, and everybody, thanks so much for checking out this podcast live. Also, if you are watching this after the fact, you want to leave us comments on robbinswebsite.com. We always appreciate that too. Take care, everybody. Have a great night.